Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to take a look at what is going on with some weird Pokemon products that are getting revealed and released in various places. They are things I think we can be pretty happy about. So let's start off with a couple of awesome playmats, which on the one hand, awesome, and on the other hand, gonna have to work for them. Because you see, over in Korea, they are holding a tournament, and there are a few of them going around. And if you go to this tournament, the various prizes that are on offer, but most importantly, playmats. Oh yeah, playmats are on offer. We got one for Reshiram, one for Zekrom, and they should look fairly familiar. They are, of course, just the booster pack artwork of Black Bolt and White Flare. Now, I want you to have a good old look in the top right-hand corner of these playmats, because that is what I find very interesting. You've got the Pokemon trading card game logo, nice and simple. You've got Card Shop, wow, they're tournaments that are going on in card shops, that makes sense. And then they've got Pokemon Card Shop Yongsan. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, my knowledge of Korea is pretty low. So, I went and did a Google. Turns out it is a district located near downtown Seoul, on the northern bank of the Han River. Bordering the city districts of Jung to the north, Mapo to the west, you get the idea. Shout out Wikipedia. The point is, this isn't just, hey, you won in a card shop. This is, hey, you won in a card shop in Yongsan. They've actually gone and put the location on the winner's playmat. Oh, I think that's absolutely wonderful. I think this is fantastic. I think it is absolutely brilliant. I just think this is a really cool touch. I love, and we've seen this in Japan before on prize cards and stuff, actually putting the location on there. I think this is really cool. I believe they've actually split it into Black Bolt competitions and White Flare competitions. It's not sealed. It's bring a 60 card deck that you've made yourself. However, I think you're literally either competing for the Zekrom or the Reshiram playmat. I think this is an extremely cool touch. I am a massive fan of this. If you don't want to go to Korea and have to try and win a tournament, which I kind of understand, that does sound like a lot of work, how about instead some cool goods which are being released over in Korea, some products which are coming around to celebrate the release of Black Bolt and White Flare. And they've got a line which we haven't seen in Japan or anywhere like that. Like, for instance, this playmat. I love this playmat. It's a first partner Pokemon. It's a first partner Pokemon from Black and White. Except now they've gone and put it on a lovely playmat. And they've even given us this little look here, which shows it being used. Did we need to see it being used? No. But I kind of love that they've gone to the effort of making this. It's weird and kind of pointless, but also kind of brilliant. And I love that they've gone to the effort. So, having this playmat, great touch, big fan. But it's not just the playmat which has been released. They've also got themselves a deck box and a damage counter case. Damage counter case, exactly like you might imagine. It is a case. And in that case, you keep your damage counters. There we go. That's what it does. We got a whole line of products here which are just being made featuring the first partner Pokemon from Gen 5. Which is kind of cool because when you look at Black Bolt and White Flare, it is a set which is celebrating Gen 5. But kind of like I showed you with the playmats a minute ago, they've gone really hard into the whole Reshiram and Zekrom thing. Which makes sense, right? They're the box legendaries. I get it. I want a little bit more love being shown to the first partner Pokemon. That's what we've got here. This is an excellent trio of stuff. Now, remember the fact that it's being released in Korea means, realistically, it's probably not being released over here. Because we don't get this. We get entirely different stuff on our Pokemon Center. But it's still awesome that it exists out there. And look, as with all the stuff I show you that comes around in other countries that aren't your own, all of this is available if you're willing to put in a bit of effort and track it down. And the general rule of this always is, the more effort you put in, the less it's going to end up costing. If you actually manage to find a middleman in Korea to get this to you, it's actually going to probably work out pretty cheap. If you're just picking it up on eBay, for instance, it's going to end up being pretty expensive, but you don't have to go to very much effort at all. There are some other things that have been released, but they're a little bit uninspiring. Like, we've got the Zekrom sleeves and deck box here, and they've got equivalent sleeves for Reshiram, but I don't need to show you because they're the same kind of thing. This is very similar to what we've got in a bunch of other places. There's a two-sided binder as well. So yay, that's out there. But again, these don't strike me as particularly special, except for the fact the binder does actually have little dividers that have silhouettes of all the Pokemon from Gen 5. That I actually do think is a really nice touch. But outside of that, these are very reminiscent of things which have been released in other territories. I'm a lot less excited about them. I love their first partner stuff, though. That looks awesome. But if we want to get away from Black Bolt and White Flare, what else do we have that's gone and been revealed? Well, Iono. Yeah, you see, over in China, remember they're catching up. Well, it turns out that there is a lottery going on over in China for Kishu's long vacation. Apologies for the pronunciation. And the way it works is you go to a Pokemon flagship store, official card gym, flash event, or just go and buy stickers or whatever, or go to Uniqlo offline stores and buy stuff. There's a bunch of different places, right? But that enters you into a lottery where you can win various things. And that includes plushies, which are cool, but we're mostly talking about the TCG here. And there's various other things like a nice hoodie and this Bellabolt rucksack, which is absolutely phenomenal. But again, we are largely a TCG channel here. So how about playmat and promo? Yeah, that is awesome. Now, also worth pointing out that the odds of all of these are, shall we say, not entirely even. There's 1,500 of the promo being given out. Now, we've talked about numbers and all on this channel before in various ways, talking about rarities and all of that. Let me assure you, ladies and gentlemen, 1,500, it's not a big number. 1,500 really is not a very large number at all. There's 2,000 playmats being given out, but there are only 1,500 of this promo. And look, for us, this promo isn't that rare. This is Paldean and Fate's Iono. It's a second of the special illustration rare Iono after the one that we got in Paldea Revolved itself. So, for us, this is not a particularly exciting card. It's not that expensive. If we go over to TCG Player right now and try and pick up this Iono, anyone want to hazard a guess before I tell you exactly how much it's going to set you back? It's like a $50 card. It's not super duper cheap, don't get me wrong, but we're talking about like a $50 card. It's really not that expensive. The Chinese, the simplified Chinese version, remember mainland China is simplified Chinese, Hong Kong and Taiwan are traditional Chinese. That's going to set you back a lot more. 1,500. That is a horrendously low number. Remember that special, the special illustration rare Mew EX I showed you? Yeah, that actually had like 1,510 copies. This is a tiny bit rarer than that. Although, remember, that Mew EX is an actual exclusive artwork, which is only released in China and hasn't come out in any other language. So, no, the Iono is not going to be as valuable as the Mew. It's going to be as rare as the Mew, but it's a card that exists in English, in Japanese, and various other languages. People aren't going to be anywhere near as excited because you can just get other versions of it. Like, I don't expect a bunch of American and European Pokemon TCG fans to rush out and try and find a Chinese version of this card because the English version is like a $50 card. Whereas the Mew, it is literally only available in China, so that card is worth a lot of money. But it should be worth a lot of money because it's only available in China. So the 1,500 available are the only ones available. The playmat, again, should be pretty expensive, but playmats are never going to get quite as ridiculous as cards. This is kind of cool, and it's kind of not. It really depends how you go about it. The fact that it's not an exclusive card artwork-wise makes me a bit happier, but I know this is going to be a real pain to get, and for collectors that want Iono cards, especially collectors in China, this is actually going to be super annoying. However, you know, still cool that we're getting it. And it's nice to have these redemptions at these stores. The only real downside is, like I've said, it's going to be very difficult to get for some people. Some people aren't going to be happy about it. So there we go. We've got new black and white products. We've got playmats that you win that are actually stamped with the name of the place you want it. And we've got some very rare Iono stuff. But I've told you all about it now. So now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about all of this in the comment section. Get us! Be nice. And then please do remember, with the new YouTube algorithm, it is so much more important nowadays to leave likes and comments than it was before. So if you would be kind enough to leave a like and a comment, that would mean a lot. And we're going to finish as we always do, giving a shout out to one of our patrons over on patreon.com/PTCG Radio. So shout out to the lovely Andrew Kincaid, who can often be seen helping out at Pokemon tournaments, helping everyone have a better time, and is also just a lovely chap. So shout out to Andrew for the support and the loveliness and just being a generally lovely person. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.